Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. And in the last episode, guys, we facilitated a pretty wholesome reunion between Femi and Naya that led to Naya joining our crew. We used our upgraded engine to head here to the Scatter Yards, where Serafin was reunited with an old crewmate, apparently, an old friend. And we also reunited with Cadet. But the most important thing, we have a cat. We now have welcomed Jonesy on board the rig, and we need to spend a lot of our supplies keeping her fed. So, yeah, lots of mouths to feed. But let us go ahead and... Perfect time to go ahead and use some of those supplies. Still waiting until we're outside the room to come eat. We'll just take a little time and patience. So, let's source some supplies. We've got plenty of cryo. It also gives time for our crop to grow. Oops. You wake to something soft and furry rubbing against your nose. You sit bolt upright. The stray kicks off from your bunk and settles on the ceiling, back curled up, looking down at you accusingly with those big eyes. Sorry. The stray gently pushes off the ceiling with a soft paw and descends to the edge of your bunk, where it hooks its front claws into the mattress pad. Seeing the cat move in zero-G is still odd. It seems to come naturally to it, and yet its shape is so connected to gravity and weight in your mind. A cat should have the heavy, soft form of a mammal, not the languid, liquid presence of the floating thing in front of you. The stray uses its hooked claws to twist and spin itself, so it softly glides against you with its back, rubbing against your arm and purring. You know what it wants. Okay, hook claws to twist and sling against you with its back, rubbing against your arm and purring. Let us pet the stray. You run a hand down its back and shifts its spine in a fluid motion of appreciation. The stray closes its eyes and purrs. It's funny to think how the stray got out here. Perhaps on a ship from the inner system, slipping on at the Eye or Sintra. But before that, its ancestors were perhaps carried out to Helion by Solheim executives who had the power and arrogance to bring a cat into space. But this cat, the one on your ship, was born here. That much is obvious. It's a creature of zero gravity, a being that orbits and glides, not one that leaps and stalks. It pats at your hand, encouraging you to continue petting. It is an animal that is part of the crew now, and you can't imagine the rig without her. As you look down at the stray, as nameless and inhuman as you are, the memory returns. The warmth of atmosphere-filled sun, the weight of flesh and fur, the smell of growing things. You know now what this memory is. It couldn't be more obvious. It's a memory that crossed the gap of your creation, a memory from the mind that was copied, emulated, to make your own. It's a part of us. The memory is, in the end, a mistake. Those who designed the sleepers never intended you to carry the memories of the minds that were copied for your creation. They wanted you to emerge as new beings, offshoots from the branch of a human's life, to be cut short when needed. But mistakes can so often become the most powerful and meaningful of emblems. They can guide a being more strongly than any success ever could. That's because at the heart of every mistake is the possibility of change, of a shift in the status quo. You've lived a life of mistakes as much as a life of successes, and look where it's brought you. So you accept the memory, and let it wash over you like the sun. You focus on the stray, and as you do, both memories combine. You're stroking both cats, separated by time and space, feeling both sets of sensations in double exposure. This doubling is what defines you. You're multiple, branched, diverse. You make no apologies for this, and you know that you will only accumulate more selves, more variants as you persist. You claim the mistake and the possibility it offers you. You settle in your berth, delaying the moment of waking, of greeting the cycle a little longer. sharing an unspoken solidarity with the stray that is more expansive than any words could capture. I love our friend. The stray is part of the crew now, but she still likes to spend her time in her little nest in the supply store. Indeed. You put supplies into the special feeder, the stray purrs and rubs against your side as she glides over to eat. All is well. Now, we got a lot of really good dice here. Let us... What do we want to do? I'm curious what's going on here in the yard. So let's put our engineering skills to good use. And I don't know if Surya's eye is going to be necessarily the best thing. One of the ship fitters lets you know. Surya is impressed. You've made the cut to work in the top fitter team. That's some quality work you've been doing. The voice booms through the locker room after your ship fitter shift. But why are you doing grunt work, sleeper? You turn to see a large man with a metal arm and bright patterned clothes. You spend enough time here to immediately know this is Surya, owner of the yard and well-known ship fitter. Well? Surya wipes his one metallic hand on a cloth, polishing its painted surface. What do you have to say for yourself? I wanted to meet you. Surya smiles. Well, I'm here, aren't I? I know a lot of what happens in the scatteryard, sleeper, and what I don't know, people tell me. He smiles proudly. And I know you have a ship. Someone who has a ship, especially a ship like yours, should not be lugging around my workers' tools. Surya flexes his artificial arm, inspecting it. That, to a person like me, is a waste. Well, ships cost cryo to run. True. All the more reason to really use them, though, isn't it? I want to take a look at your ship, sleeper. Surya goes back to working on the hand. Call it professional courtesy. It's a bit drab. Surya looks up and meets your eye. An old Solheim rig, still in corporate colors? He shakes his head. No. I feel like that's your problem. People want a crew that looks the part, an outfit with an outfit. He grins. And look at my yard. I grew it from a chunk of scrap by showing people I was professional. I had standards. I made Surya's yard recognizable. Your problem is you're working as a shipfitter's mate, and you should be imagining much more for yourself and your crew. Surya smiles. And so that got me thinking. I want to help you to clean up that old rig. Paint it up, give it some color. He tucks the cloth away in his tool belt. How does that sound? I'd love that. Perfect! Surya booms. The thing is, you don't just slap some paint on an old rig like that. And for this to work, we need its look to reflect your crew, your style. So while I'm happy to do the painting with my team, I'll need you to go find some inspiration. Surya looks away, toward the locker room's lone window. Luckily, the belt is full of it, full of pattern and texture and style. There's nothing uniform about this place, and it's the better for it. Surya looks back at you. You need to go out there, find some views, some sights, and make your own designs. Here. He proudly pulls a small slate from his tool bag. It has a 64-color screen. I fixed it up myself. You take and inspect the slate, made from mismatched pieces, but elegantly so. See what you find to inspire you. He smiles. Then come and see me again. Thank you. I can see what you're thinking. You're thinking, what's in it for me financially? Surya's eyes you carefully. How does this make you any chits? That's the other part of the proposal. While you take this voyage around the belt, you can do something for me and get paid for it. Free of charge, I will paint your rig with the look and name of my yard here, Surya's yard. It commands respect. He nods sagely. You take that name to the rest of the belt, represent it, and on your travels, spread it to other crews. And for this, I will pay you 300 cryo. It's mutually beneficial. You will earn better doing this than any yard work, and I get increased custom. What's not to like? Surya awaits your response calmly, but you feel his expectant eyes on you. It's a deal. Wonderful! Surya beams. I will send my team over immediately. By the time you return to your rig, they should be done. He reaches into his work pouch. Yeah, 150 cryo now. He takes out a handful of high-value chits. And another 150 cryo when you return with those designs. I will take the chits. You take the cryo. Of course, I will give you the other half on your return with those designs. He smiles apologetically. I need to be sure you don't repay the ship before your pilgrimage is done. It's only fair. Keep the slate. He waves an arm at you and to put it away. Go find inspiration. Bring me those designs. I don't want to see you back in the shipyard. You need to be out of there. I mean, out there. Surya smiles. It was a pleasure. And before you can say anything else, he's gone. Time to find out what his crew have done to your rig. New drive available, new location discovered. Okay. So, the painters can return your rig to its old paint, but you'll have to pay them extra to convince them. Surya won't be happy. We didn't want that, now would we? Oh, well, I'm actually okay with that. I wouldn't think I'd like the green and orange, but I think I could live with it. Anything else? Actually, dice repair. The galley. Make sure there are no surprises, you know what I mean? Supply store, just to feed the stray. And then the cargo bay for the mushrooms. All good, no worries. So, I guess we need to continue on here with what we were doing. Now we've got Cadet's Workshop. We have not worked on this at all. We need to identify the passcodes, and if you can work out through guesswork and analysis what the passcodes are, you can access the drive. Now how much do we get with 100%? 2. You and Cadet work out a method for automatically eliminating common phrases in the passcode structure. Gets us a little bit of the way there, so it would be 2 more cycles with that success rate. And then let's head back to the transit hub and use some more engineering know-how. And a new location discovered. Yard supply, scatter yards distribution. Here's where we get our fuel and our supplies if we need them. Cool, cool. Now I'm serious what's going to happen when I'm curious, not serious, though it could be very serious, when Serafin and Marko get back, which is going to happen. Oh, actually, I need to see raw scrap, process scrap, rare components. All right. It happens now. Sleeper. Serafin's voice echoes through the ship. You in here? You glide down to the airlock, unsure of what state you're about to find your pilot in. Serafin floats in the airlock, his arms above his head, gripping the lip of the interior door to hold himself in place. Come on, we need to talk. There's a straight-faced seriousness to Serafin you weren't expecting, especially considering that he spent the past 2 cycles with Marko. Follow him? Serafin leads you across the bridge, but rather than turn towards the automated shuttle bay that connects Marko's yard to the rest of the assembly, he leads you deeper into the guts of the yard itself. As he does, he begins to speak. I told Marko about Lane, about our escape, about everything. Serafin ducks under a large pipe. He gets it. He's worked in Darkside. Let him talk. He comes to a sealed door and hammers in an entry code. Somewhere, machines start whirring. Remember in Wellspring, after everything? What I said? Serafin turns to face you. That we can't run forever? I mean, he folds his arms. That'll always be true, but no. He meets your eye. That if we want to be free, we need to fight back. The door suddenly squeals as the ancient motors kick in and drag it across its corroded tracks. It reveals a large, half-lit chamber, its furthest parts masked with layers of scaffolding and frames, so it's hard to tell where the room actually ends. At the center, in a pool of warm light, Marko floats beside a terminal screen. Sleeper? He touches his brow in a mock salute as you enter. What happened to being drinking buddies? We got all the drinking done on the first cycle. Marko smiles. The second cycle was all about problem solving. You hear the door you entered through screech shut, and then a sudden silence descends. Sorry to drag you out here, Sleeper, but I really can't be overheard on this one. We're close to Darkside here, and Utsubo have ambitions, shall we say, in the scatter yards. Finn told me the whole story, and I'm sorry for your troubles. He clasped his hands together. You've done well to evade Lane this far, but you must understand he's also been distracted. Since Hexport went up, well, Darkside's been in crisis. If the war was the pressure shift that allowed Utsubo to build its strength, Hexport was the breach to blow it wide open. Marko springs his hands apart. Hexport's their justification for imposing total control in the name of production. Marko glances away into a dark corner of the room. And, if my hunch is right, it's how they'll extend their reach to the scatter yards. Where's this going? Marko laughs and looks at Serafin. Straight to business, this one. I am done running, Sleeper. Serafin cuts in. I hate looking over my shoulder every cycle. I hate the nightmares, the fear. I want to face this head on, for better or worse. He looks away, scowling. I won't be controlled by Lane. This is our chance to break that control. Lane has hunted you, Sleeper, which means he's not in Darkside. Marko raises an eyebrow. This is good for you. There are people in Darkside resisting Utsubo, though I hear it's not going well for them. If you could find them, come find out what they need, there's a chance here. Marko pauses, and you get the feeling he's assessing your reaction. Taking action is a choice right now, Sleeper, but soon it won't be. Serafin glances at Marko. Not if what Marko is telling me is true. Let's do this on our terms. Oh man. I'm a sleeper. Running is my life. And once we're free of Lane, we can face up to S and ARP together too. But not if we keep running. A flicker of raw emotion crosses Serafin's face. He's desperate for your approval, but you're also sure he'll act without it if he has to. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Marko interrupts. I'll need some time to work this out. If you two want to go to Darkside, there's no way you can take that stolen rig. It was a big enough risk just to bring it here. He glances at Serafin, and you get the feeling he's already been reprimanded for this. So, I need to find you a way in and a way out. Marko rubs his hands together. I know it can be done. Marko turns to you. I recommend you take the next few cycles to prepare. The scatter yards are a good place to both spend and make cryo, depending on your need. And Finn, Marko puts a hand on his friend's shoulder. Try stay cool. This'll be a recon only. A chance to see what's happening on Darkside and make your connections. It's not time for grand gestures. Serafin nods. Thank you, Marko. He glances at you. We'll keep things quiet until you're ready. You and Serafin leave the hidden bay, the door screeching open to allow you to exit. When it seals once more, Serafin turns to you. This is our chance to shift things, Sleeper. Let's keep our heads in the game. Can we trust Marko? Serafin sighs. I believe we can. But in case you haven't noticed, we don't have many allies this close to Darkseid anyway. We need to trust Marko. We should give Marko some time. I've got a few things I want to take care of in the scatter yards, and I want to get a message to Tala. I know she'd want to hear from me before. Let's make sure we're ready. Keep your head up, sleeper. I'll see you on the rig. And with that, Serafin kicks off down the passage on his way to the shuttle dock. You watch him go, unsure if you're impressed or concerned with his headstrong nature. Either way, things are in motion. The only thing you can do now is give yourself the best chance of success. Great, we have Leroy Jenkins'd ourselves into a bit of a problem. How long do we have 2 days now, huh? Marko's plan. Marko needs time to set up your entry point into Darkseid, so all you can do is wait, prepare, and try to stay calm. Just try to stay calm. Alright, well, let's head to Cadet's workshop and use our good dice here to keep this going. I would very much like to... We didn't get any... Okay, well... We tried, so maybe it would be best to go ahead and get this done now. Shop talk. You both listen and talk, and soon you... Okay, about hull plating. And... You've earned respect in the hub and gain a sense of how things run in the scatter yards. Fabricator Bay. Component construction tools. Pay bay usage fee. The engine component fabricators in the hub are for ship fitters only, so they ask for a one-time fee to dissuade casual use. I don't know if we need more of this, but we've got a ton of money, so... You hand over your chits and they take you to a free bay and show you the engine component fabricator. It's an intimidating machine. Which does what? Ah, build engine component. Even with specialized fabricator, component construction is a delicate act. Only the most skilled can produce a rare, error-free component, which is great because we're an engineer. Takes time to skill and build engine components. Any errors will impact the outcome. Okay, so we know where to go if that is the case. Now, let's head back to Cadet's workshop. Fortunately, all of this is risky, and we can at least do something here. Whoops. Dark data. But now all of our dice can go through that, and hopefully we can get that done before we have to get out of here. So let's head here. Grab some grub. And feed the kitty. And maybe it's time to grab some fuel for a cycle. See what that does. Is Marko gonna Lando us, though? I hope not. Part of the crew. Keep on feeding. I don't know if I have to stop feeding, but... That's what we're gonna keep on rocking out. And now we get to see how many supplies we get every turn, because now we're down 2. Okay, all this for Cadet. This will actually go pretty well then. Oh yeah, we got it. You can Cadet work out a method for automatically eliminating common phrases in the passcode structure. And... here we go. You have access. Now to find out what the drive holds that's so important. Cadet catches your eye as you look over at her. What is it? She takes the end of the metal chopstick she had been chewing on out of her mouth. You got something? Cadet had given up already for the cycle, and while you were cracking the drive's complex encryption on her friend's workstation, she'd been floating in the middle of the small workshop, pinging bits of scrap off the shelving on the wall. Now, she spins in the air and pushes off from the ceiling, spinning as she glides so she lands perfectly behind you, leaning over the terminal screen. As she does, you hit a key, executing the final decryption process. Slick. She goes to ruffle your hair, but you don't have any. Instead, she just wobbles your head playfully. What do we got? With Cadet hanging over your shoulder, you try to concentrate on the data spooling across the screen. The first thing you catches your eye is a steady repetition of CWEXT, an identifier for Conway Extractions, the behemoth conglomerate currently waging a corporate war with Senate Stat in the inner system. Why Conway? What is this data? You stop the scroll, looking for details. Hit that thing. Cadet pokes the screen, making it wobble. You dutifully click. A comment expands the code, a note left by someone. It mentions tests and protocols, discusses reverse engineering and carrier signals. You close it and find another. Drone latency. Another. Security bypass. One more. Kill switch. It takes a long time, you and Cadet squinting into the blue screen, to build up a picture of what you're looking at. When you're done, both of you sit back, your eyes soar and your minds clogged with technical terminology. Shit. Cadet shakes her head. They were dissecting it live. She's referring to the Conway drone mine this stream of data was scrapped from. Huge volumes of internal data, of control systems, protocols, and passphrases. The kind of data you imagine was closely guarded by Conway, kept secret to allow the smooth operation of its drones. This thing, it's some kind of general or manager, right? Giving orders out to all the little drones that work for it? Cadet squints. I always thought Conway controlled its drones remotely, with people. Those zero latency point interfaces you hear about. From what you know, Cadet is right. Conway is known for their novel solution to the scale and logistical problems of the surrogate systems. Extraction and security drone ships, piloted from light years away with proprietary comm interfaces. A drone mind, what this code is scrapped from, should be a kind of distributor, a relay for the local drones that links to the closely guarded transmitter/receiver. But this data suggests otherwise. It suggests an active cognitive process, far more complex than any protocol you've heard of. A thinking machine. Look, Cadet jabs at the screen again. Is that... She squints. You see a line in the data stream that reads simply, stop, get out, stop, get out, stop, get out, stop, get out. How did they know this? Cadet leans back. Everyone knows captured Conway drones purge themselves and everything else in the couple of 100 square clicks around them when captured. You rip the control core out of one, sure, you can disassemble it, but its system will be gone. This one was still running when they took it apart. It should have gone up like a tactical nuke the moment they started. She stops suddenly, the fate of Hexport jumping into her mind. Is that what happened? But how did they get all this? And get it out on a drive? Silence fills the workshop. You look back to the screen, unsure of the answers to Cadet's questions. You feel a deep chill, one that you know has nothing to do with the temperatures of the workshop. Who the hell was doing this? Cadet scans the code once more. You back over the data. Nothing. But the absence of a trail tells you almost as much as an obvious one would. The data is scrubbed clean, not a mention of who was scrapping it. That means a professional. A professional with access to tools and protocols way beyond what you'd usually see in the Starward belt. An outsider, then. Which outsider would benefit most from knowing the control protocols of Conway drones? Who would risk an entire belt station to find them? It's the simplest answer. Occam's razor. Senate Stat did this. You say it out loud, and it sounds right. Yeah, that'd be my first guess too. Cadet yawns. But it's still a guess. We've been at this too long. Cadet sighs. I'm cooked. She pushes away from the terminal and floats in the room, stretching out her aching back. We know they had this drone mine on Hexport. That's where they were cutting it, scrapping it. We know something happened and Hexport went up. She sketches her thoughts out in the air with hand gestures as she summarizes. The data got out on that drive, I'm assuming, before the explosion and then got to the far spindle. Someone tried to curry it using me, but the receiver wasn't there. She turns and looks at you, which is when they ruined my life and my job trying to get it back. We need more information, though. Yeah, we do. She floats over to the drive and picks it up. This thing has trouble written all over it. But it's also the only way to buy my life back. She frowns. The way I see it, we have to expose these fools so they leave me be, or give them the data so they piss off forever. We can't give them this. Not if we don't know who they are. But yeah, we can't. All the roads lead in one direction. I'm afraid. She spins the drive in the air. Back home. Hexport. If there's anything to confirm or deny this data, if there's anything to connect it to, if there's anything left at all, it would be in the remains of that station. I had a feeling it might come to this, so I made some inquiries when I first got here. The word is the place is irradiated to hell, but I've also heard the radiation is fading, and it's not like half the belt isn't glowing anyway. She shrugs grimly. With suits, we'd have maybe a few cycles before it started to leak through. The problem is getting in. She puts the drive back on the desk's magnetic surface. Far spindle is a no. Not only do I not want to get picked up there, but the debris is denser on that side. There's no safe way in. Dark side is the best bet. She shakes her head. But I heard you have some trouble waiting for you there. What if I deal with the trouble? Then we'd have a clear shot at it. She shrugs. Easier said than done. This place is one hell of a stowaway spot. Shielded from everything. Plus the scatter yards are no one's territory. I'm gonna leave the drive here. She squints at you. No peeking. But me? I want to keep moving. So I was thinking I could make myself useful till you shake that trouble in dark side. She smiles. Work for room and board and all that. You want to come with me? Yeah. She smiles, professionally speaking. What do you say? She folds her arms. You know I'm tough, and I can do plenty besides ride an airbike. You're in. That's the answer I was looking for. Cadet scans the workshop. I've had enough of spacer bathrooms for a lifetime. I'll make myself at home on your rig. She picks up the drive and tucks it in a pocket. Cadet glances away at the racks on the wall, and you follow her eyes to a spot her airbike where it's hanging, carefully secured and pristinely kept. Cadet gives you a hard look. You better have room for my bike. The Spindlejack, recruit cadet to your crew. Good lord. Alright. So many crew members. I'm glad the ship is large enough. We got a new paint job, new crew members, and apparently we're going to be making a play on Darkside itself. So I'm curious what's going to happen, guys. I hope y'all are too, and I hope y'all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.